Might find a different setting actually. I'm sick of that bare wall. I'll do a video out here outside. That's nice. Trigger has his dinner in peace. Oh yeah, it's a nice morning. A bit cold. I should really put my socks on. I've got a blanket, so blanket to put my feet on. So yeah, I'll sit in my camp chair. Got the old camp chair here, out on the balcony, which is nice. Look at that. What a view. Am I a lucky man or what? All paid for by my childhood schooling, which I make a lot of money for. It pays for our pensions, so we work hard for our pensions at school, so probably a better way of doing it, but that's how they sort of figure it. So, you probably hate me for saying this, but I don't see anything wrong with a bit of racism. It doesn't bother me. Like, if someone's angry at you, just be angry back, you know, like, you're bullying or something, just say, fuck off, you know. It's just part of life. That's how I grew up. Or, you know, you might be like, making a joke, just make a joke back, you know. But when someone makes a joke and you get all upset at it, you know, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the imbalance of the world. Everything's a bit off. But people are just so intolerant to intolerance. There's a rabbit hole. Go down that one. People are intolerant to intolerance, which is intolerant to intolerance, infinitum. So, but I don't see anything wrong with just having a bit of a joke about things, you know. I think I've been every race on Earth in previous carnations that's existed on Earth, so I sort of have all those genes in me somewhere, you know. I've been a bit Aboriginal, a bit Chinese, a bit Indian, a bit this, a bit that. It's got sort of a bit of everything in me, I think. But and I think because I've been, say, an Aboriginal before, our families have sort of integrated that into our DNA, not just our spirit. So I probably had Aboriginal ancestors or Chinese or something else mixed in there at some point. So maybe back in the first dynasty or something. But yeah, I've always been sort of a not like at the top of the tree, but always a world leader in a sense of being a hard worker around the middle somewhere, you know, doing a lot of work. Always had that ability, that extra little bit of willpower. I think it's a will of Venus or something. So I used to call myself Venus Arthur Commodore. It was kind of a name I adopted. I heard in the back of my mind, Venus Arthur Commodore. It was something that came from my heart, and that's what I thought of myself as. Through a lot of my problems was God Venus. It kept me believing in love, and I used to say Venus was a man, you know. But I like that Björk song, or Björk, however she likes it said. You know, Venus is a boy. I think that's a cute little idea, that Venus is a little boy, you know, this cute little... I was like that as a little boy, this cute little, lovable little, cute, soft, plain little face little boy, you know, but very beautiful, pretty little thing, you know. Considering what I've been through and all my experiences, I'm probably still quite a cute, pretty little man, really, now, in a way. You know, I still have a nice smile and, you know, good attitude, so it always keeps me going. You know, I'm a bit rough around the edges because I need grooming, but, you know, that always takes a woman, I think. You can try doing it with a man, you end up a bit gay, a bit puffy. I don't want to be like that. I'd rather be masculine and beautiful, like a big, strong man, you know, like, not toxic masculinity where you're putting it on, you know, a big show or act, but being genuine, you know, like genuinely how I like to feel, you know. But yeah, I was once, going back through history, I was probably one of the first Aboriginals to be born, you know, from the dream time. Or that's where I believe a lot of my dreaming comes from, you know, that whole mystical sort of world of apparitions and spirits, and we come from different animals and different, you know, walk out from the trees, or, you know, tree spirit might get sick of being a tree and wander off a human, or sort of look at each other, and animals dream of each other and they create each other, and, you know, it's sort of conceptualising the spirit world, and then the physical world bonds and mates and creates different species, and It's how it all sort of works, I suppose. I mean, it's probably a time when animals were very similar, and as time's gone on, their different abilities have led them in different directions, so some have gone to the water, some have gone to the air, it probably all started out like little mice or something, from the ocean, and little mice, probably, because we would have had grown fur pretty early on, but still had a tail, so yeah, I'm thinking probably mice, and then from that, other species, because mice are very, they carry a lot of the blueprint. That's why a lot of scientists experiment on them. They're very similar to humans in their behaviours. I think their DNA is very similar, and it's probably, it's cruel. I don't like the idea of experimenting on our ancestors like that, and I'd much rather have a simulation program on a computer. That's a good thing about computers. They can simulate a lot of experiments so no one gets harmed. The mice are just the most beautiful little creatures, If you've ever owned a mouse, so you get that little smell, that musky smell in the house. It's so beautiful, It's just that smell of home. It's just. I grew up on a farm. We had barns with mice in them, and they do attract a few snakes, but that's just the animal kingdom, the food chain. But yeah, it's just that lovely smell of hay and mice, and some people can't stand it, but I love it. I just love that smell. It's like a most pretty little smell of mice. It's like BO on your wife or something, smell your underarms or something. It's probably gross to other people, but I think it'd be nice just to lay in bed and smell my wife's hair or something, It's that mousy smell before she shampoos, Anyway, yeah, that Aboriginal person I was, I can't remember the name. It's similar to Tiki Tembo, that Chinese. I think it was Chinese Tiki Tembo, or Tiki Tembo or something. Yeah, there was a song made about him because. People ridicule people in history, make up songs like nursery rhymes, sort of making fun of the king and stuff like that. I think 4 and 20 Blackbirds is sort of ridiculing the king, sort of a jester's song, I suppose. I suppose Tiki Tembo is sort of similar, making fun of the Chinese or something, and that's why probably a lot of these books get written out and things, because they think they're offensive, but that's what jesters do. They're supposed to offend the higher chains to bring them back down to earth, to balance the world, otherwise there'd be this imbalance in the world. It's the jesters which keep the world balanced and happy and safe, keep everyone relaxed and happy, and that's why they have jesters in the world, That's why I get upset that Joker's always made out to be this villainous sort of monster, when really he's just, keeping the corporate balance in the world, but they make him out to be a criminal, but really, I suppose in Batman you have the hero and the villain sort of balance, but in real life it's more just, Seinfeld or something. They're the sort of Jokers, aren't they? Or, in Australia, like Comedy Company, or The Chaser, or those guys from Black Dog, The Panel, making fun of politicians, keeping everyone in check. Probably take it a bit too far sometimes. It gets a bit derogatory. I think, it can be a bit hard, but maybe the politicians are being a bit hard on us, not giving us the money, not spending wisely on us. Not distributing payments properly. They're just sort of basically choking us to death, but then expecting the church to pull us out of the mud, when really it's not their role. And Uniting's helped me here getting a house, but I couldn't have got one otherwise. Why is that? I'm born, I have my rights. I should be granted the money I need to afford to live. I'm not talking a mansion. I'm just talking a regular little house with a backyard. And then we can afford to live and work and contribute to society. But all our work shouldn't go into just buying our home. It's I don't know where they get this idea that money should just all be from work. It should actually be generously distributed between the population to help them live. That's what it's for. It's the wealth of the soil. It's where we come from. It's part of our own DNA, our own body. Anyway, don't mean to get on that rant. I was just going to talk about Aboriginals and sort of where I came from originally. I was sort of this kind of stocky little Aboriginal dude. Like back in the day, was sort of not so tall and spindly. Like a lot of Aboriginals now are very tall and spindly. They don't eat as much. Back then, food was plentiful. We'd just, be animals everywhere. You could just eat as much as you want. That's all we did all day, just eat. So we'd go and hunt, get a few, whatever. I think they were even, back then, they were even like cows sort of animals. They all got wiped out though. They were delicious. They were not like the cows today. They were more like a rhino almost. The amount of meat on them. They were big and bulky and meaty and beautiful cows. Proper cows. These ones today, they're not real cows. They're hormonal, fucked over with hormones, and they're miserable. Our cows were happy. They would loll around and lay in the grasses, and and we'd go around hunting them and kill them and cook them whole on the fire. Just tear the meat off them. But I did meet my wife. I don't know if I should mention her, but I won't mention names. But I met my wife back then. She hadn't changed a bit. She was exactly, just probably not as stocky, but yeah, she used to be much stronger, but basically the same as what she was back then. She hadn't changed a bit, whereas I'd sort of been worshipped as a god and changed, and totally departed from that whole Aboriginal framework of beliefs. I've moved on, so I wasn't so I dreamt about sort of spaceships and stuff back then. I must have been influenced by something that took my fancy, and I just decided to move on. And that was a long time ago. So I know what they say about the oldest continuous race on Earth. Well, it's not really, but because we're all part of the same race, really. Just some of us move on in different ways. So the whole human race is the one race. It's all the oldest continuous race. But some people change and some people don't. It's just like in the animal kingdom, when animals evolve, say a dog might choose not to change. Other animals choose to make that change and become a horse or become a cow or whatever. I'm not saying we're any different or better than an Aboriginal. They've just made that choice. They want to stay living that lifestyle. That's why they get upset that we've imposed on that, building all these industrialised buildings. But really, we're no different. We're just come up with more productive ways to live a more luxurious life, because we probably didn't like the cold or something. For some little reason, like we didn't like mozzies or something. Or we got sick of hunting for ourselves, wanted someone else to do it, or might have been some reason along the line or some influence. I still do believe at some point we did get infected by an alien race. I think something came around the time of Ra, about 15 to 12,000 years ago, and changed us a bit. And it caused us to be more war conscious. Whether it was Mars coming back to us, or maybe finishing up their race there, and they might have gone somewhere else and come back to Earth, or I think we did get infected by something, and then their race died out. Whether they were trying to come here and wage war and then take over because their world was dying, or some desperate attempt to. And I think their world died. That's why we don't see them anymore. Maybe for a few thousand years they came and sort of conflicted with us. They're the memories I have of, not really called the dream time when you remember back. It's more just remembering, But Yeah, look, I think it's nice to have a balance, have a world where you can have the natural world, animals, ecosystems, all developing because they can develop forever. You know, there's no need to wipe out races of animals. They can change, develop, but they should have the choice to live their lifestyle as well they've chosen. But we should also have our choice to live ours. And I just think we're stuffing things around a bit, not really catering to all the more needy people that find life a bit tough. We should really be helping them a bit more. Their souls are going to keep coming back, trying to do what they want to do, and if we're stopping that and restricting that, it just makes it hard on everyone, and especially the animals suffer, you know, because they're just wanting their beautiful life as well, you know. The choices they've made, you know, even platypus want to be a platypus. They didn't want to turn into a Komodo dragon or whatever they turn into eventually, you know. They chose to be a platypus, and I'm sort of making the choice to move on and be some kind of god or Superman. That's the thing I want to do. Doesn't mean the whole human race will. There'll still be humans, but if I do it alone, that's sad. I'd love to do it with a community, a family, you know, move on and be sort of the protectors of the world like we are sort of trying to be with the animals, even though you know, we're being destructive. But hopefully we learn a lesson and you know, I, for one, want to be a responsible Superman, you know, one that takes care of the world, protects it. That's my intention. I don't know if human beings had that intention with the animal kingdom, or whether over time we've sort of been a bit too greedy, I think, just having too much and wanting too much and too much population, really. These countries like China and India, I don't mean to pick on them, but they are extraordinarily dense population, and just the consumption of the animal kingdom, and especially the oceans, decimation is just... They should all be pristine. We should just be, you know, picking bits off, not swiping the whole ecosystem out and wiping it out. It's like gardening and totally digging out the dirt and expecting the trees to grow. It's not going to work, you know. You got to till the soil and keep it all, you know, healthy. You can't just wipe out, decimate the whole sea and expect it to just regenerate like magic with no ground coral or reefs or anything. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Yeah, my Aboriginal name, I can't remember what it was. It was something like, it's like Tiki Tembo, but a little bit different. It's something like, I know it, but I don't want to say it because it's just not the right time. But and I might give away other people. I don't want to give that away. But yeah, I was Aboriginal once upon a time. I think my spirit was a very tall stick figure man, but I was quite I was tall and thin, but I was quite stocky, quite built because I was well fed, you know. I was kind of the chief of the whole community, you know. In terms of Indian terms, I suppose that is the chief. I don't know what the Aboriginals call their leader now, probably the master or the what do you want to call it, but yeah, I was generally the leader of the little the mob, as they say, or you know, call it the father or the grandfather or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, have a good day. It's probably why I tend to be a bit abrupt. I don't mean to be racist in a bad way. I see racism as just a positive thing, you know. It's just like, you know, have a go, mate. Yeah, fuck you, you know. It's just part of the way Australians are. It'd be sad to see that humour die out, or that it's defence mechanism sometimes too when you feel threatened, you know. Fuck off, you Jew, or whatever. It's just the way we talk. So yeah, it doesn't just apply to race. It can be female to male. It can be, you fucking bitch, or whatever, you know, you dickhead, you know. It's just the way we talk, you know, Aussies. I don't know how the rest of the world talks, you know. It's probably just because of the landscape, the way it's a bit very raw, our landscape, so we tend to, our personalities come across a bit raw and a bit... but yeah, a lot of people these days are more refined, even in the country. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. Anyway, have a good day. Hope you enjoy my video. Have a good morning. See you later.